we didn't have satellites, we wouldn't have cell phones, we wouldn't have cable TV, we wouldn't have accurate weather forecasting. It would be like living back in the 1940s before we had satellites.
What would the world be without satellites? Well, I'd say that the world would be a more complicated place. It wouldn't be as global. We wouldn't be able to communicate with people all around the planet. We also wouldn't be able to study the planet in fascinating ways that we do with satellites, where we look down and we can see how ice is changing in the Arctic. We'd miss out on a whole bunch of information.
I started when I was a freshman at the University of Colorado. I started working here part-time as a student, working full-time in the summers, and recently I got my 50-year pin, which meant I had enough service, even taking out when I was at school, to have accumulated 50 years of service. When I started work, satellites were brand new, and we didn't have any satellite data that we used. There were a few scientists making measurements, and then writing down numbers. We didn't have as many things that automatically measured things and converted them to numbers, but we have been interested for many years in our natural environment. Now we've gone to a place where we can have satellites way beyond Jupiter and Saturn, sending data back that we could measure directly before. We have examples of things going closer and closer to the sun, and these efforts will continue to both to measure things and try to understand the world we live in.
1957, Soviet Union launched Sputnik, starting the space race between the US and the USSR. 1958, US launched its first successful satellite, Explorer 1. 1980, GOES 4, launched September 9th, 1980, was the first geostationary satellite to give vertical pictures of the Earth's atmosphere. 1994, GOES 8 launched April 1994. It was the first GOES to be launched on a 3-axis stable platform. In 2001, GOES 12 launched July 23rd, 2001. It was the first GOES to operate a SXI type instrument.
This is the Space Weather Prediction Center. We have data from some of our satellites. We have data from other satellites that comes in real time or near real time.